So, we are understanding that how meditation or mindfulness can transform our life. And briefly, we are covering 40 steps written by one of the greatest masters who lived in 7th century, known as Shankaracharya. Last week, we discussed about 6 treasures versus 6 enemies. Are you aware the 6 enemies? Desire, anxiety or hesitation, second, then greed, then delusion, pride, and jealousy. Now see how one thing to understand, take an example of a manual of iPhone cannot work with the manual of Android phone. We have 2 IT experts are here. They know it very well. If someone sends a manual of TV while sending you an iPhone, you cannot work. We have the manuals of meditation. Only the manuals of meditation that explains the principles will always work. And these are simply the manuals.
I didn't understand that.
I don't know why Google always opens up. So we have to understand that. Based on that understanding, we are picking up these principles from this text. So 6 enemies. Did you contemplate on it last week? And if you contemplate, the big question comes, if I don't have desire, how can I work? Are you asking me to go to the monastery or the Himalayas, leave all the work? There is an intimate relationship between my desire and my action. See that? So what should I do? Should I leave all the work and continue to meditate day and night? Should I leave all the work? So now comes the 12th principle. The 12th principle says, transform desire-ridden works to self-evolving actions. That will help us succeed in meditation. So, when we say we have to transform the desire-ridden works to self-evolving actions, that is what is karma yoga. We have heard about karma yoga. It is also known as when you start karma yoga in life, inside you become a monk. Inside you are a monk. Outside you are continue to perform the karma. As you understand, once we understand the principle, we will do the practice, and then you have a question. We will have question and answer session. So normally we think karma yoga is all about service. If I have a studio, you come to my studio and I say, okay, please clean the room, that is karma yoga. Isn't it? That is what we understand. No, that has nothing to do with karma yoga. We have a wrong notion. We are going to understand we have to live with the karma yoga means performing every action in the field of karma yoga is our 12th step in this journey. There are 5 types of karma. Nitya karma means the daily karma. I need to do it in my personal, professional, social life. Then there is a Naimitya karma, occasional duties. I have to attend marriage ceremony or birthday, someone invites me. All these car breaks up, occasional duties. 2 types of karma. The third type of the karma is known as kamya karma, desire-ridden action. 4th karma we discussed earlier, prohibited karma, that we should not do. We should follow the rules of the society, the rules of the law of the land. And the 5th one, when we do some karma that incur sins, means 6 enemies, it leads to anxiety, failure and frustration, then we should repent on this by doing a different karma. Nitya karma, daily karma needs to be done. If we don't do the nitya karma, we incur sin. What it means? For example, the wife is ill and you don't take her to the hospital. It does not give you any reward, but if you don't do it, what happens to the mind? The mind is constantly thinking. See that, those small things at a subtler level. The mind has to be very clear with reference to these karma in daily life. Occasional duties. I have, he is listening with eyes closed. Samir was saying that, see that is a part of the our daily life. If I don't attend the celebration happening in my friend's house, then they will also not attend the ceremony. So for that we need to attend it. He said to me, I think last year, I remember. So these are the 2 kinds of duties. So our problem is with the kamya karma, desire-ridden action. Desire-ridden action. What we should do. So the master Krishna and other masters says the secret to escape the law of karma. Now what happens, you see? You perform a desire-ridden action. So I have a motivation inside of selfishness. So if I continue to do it, it builds ego. So my desireful action has 2 elements. First is the desiring the fruits of an action inside. And it builds ego. What is that? Ego is the pride, one of the 6 enemies. And that makes me frustrated. And that is what is known as the law of karma. I continue to do all the karma with a motivation of desire in the mind. It builds my ego and it strengthens my ego. It accumulates lot of impressions and it helps me. Ultimately, it leads me to anxiety, over busyness, over exertion. That is what about we have been doing in our daily life. The secret to escape the law of karma is renunciation of fruits of karma and the doership. Two points. It is happening in the mind. Outside you are doing everything as it is. You are not paying me for the money for the session. Now, I should ask. But at the same time, that thinking, that motivation of the karma is not seeking the fruits, result, and not building the ego inside. How it happens. I'm trying to summarize this. It takes a lot of other principles to understand. Now look back. How we perform an action. Without thought, we cannot perform an action. Every thought contains a desire. And the 6 enemies, including the desire, can attack from behind. It is important to understand a person practices Karma yoga is not workaholic, not always busy, does not have anxiety of doing so many things, and continues the burden of karma. So here Master gives you how you perform an action, or how you, say for example, I have been saying this along. If there is it happened to me in New Jersey that women works for some, Tiffany. Tiffany jewelries? I think the women here in US knows very well. Tiffany is very famous. So she paid all the fees for her girl education and also bought a car. And the girl has a habit of smoking, and she smoked inside the car, burned the seat. And she called me. I will take the car from her. This is too much. I will stop paying her the fees. Can you come today? So I went there. I've been giving lessons. I said, the way you have given so much of money to your daughter, can your mind ever think of giving the same amount of money to me? No. Why no? And why yes to your girl? You always say, I love you, you have taken care of me, you have freed me from the stress and anxiety. I have taken care of you much more than your girl has taken care of you. What happened to you? Can you think of it? Motivation. When I have a result in my mind of performing an action, I am attached. When there is an attachment, that causes the desire. Desire fulfilled, anxiety. I'm also offering a solution, Jerry. It's a today's topic. You see that? Do you see what happens? So remember, the karma yoga does not mean that you are over busy, you are workaholic, but your motivation inside. So fruits of an action, you have to leave. You have to leave that thought that I will get the fruit of this, result of this action. So then what happens? Will I not get the result of that action? Whatever the action I perform, reward is always there. Result will always be there. I have not to think in my mind. 2 things. Results of that action, and not building ego. Normally our actions in daily life becomes a hostage to ego. One master says, Naham tada moksho. Where there is no ego, there is meditation. Where there is the ego, there is no meditation. And ego comes from the seeking the fruits of an action. But what should I do? Answer is, what should I do then? All thoughts related to work is identified with the ego, craving, obsession, fear, failure, frustration. We should perform all karma and let fruits come and accept as gift of from the existence. Let me focus on the work that I am doing. Whether I am doing that work in the family, in the profession, I should focus only on the work that I am doing. So how to handle this mind which is constantly seeking the desire for? Let that thought not be there, and I get a reward from the existence. Let the mind remain pure and clear at the time of doing the action. Why? The result is always in the future. Action is always in the present. Don't you see that? Action is always in the present. Seeking fruits in the future. I have to become workaholic. I have to become over easy. Just think of it. Drop that idea from your mind. So when you drop that idea of seeking the fruits from an action, the ego is not built. The pride is not built. When there is no pride, no seeking fruits of an action, let the fruits come and let me accept as a gift of existence. That is the path of karma yoga. We say yoga, karma yoga is the path of service. To whom we are serving? We are serving the existence. If you serve the existence, that idea in your mind, that thought in your mind, just start doing it from today, this week. The moment you do any work in the family, of your relations, just think in mind, let me do it for the existence. Let me focus on this activity. Let me focus. And you will see the pride will not be there. The seeking fruits of an action will not be there. These 6 enemies will not create series of thoughts. 3 types, 3 ways we can do it. The Gita, Krishna in the Gita says. First he says, if any karma, any action is not accompanied by a sense of doership and being done without attachment or aversion, that is known as sattvic karma. Lara, you know about sattvic, rajasic and tamasic karma. Let me do it for the sake of doing. Let me perform that action for the sake of joy, for the sake of the work. Whether you are doing any professional activity, in that process you are helping others selflessly. You are experiencing happiness in others' happiness. Are you getting it? You experience happiness in others' happiness. And that will take meditation to the heights. What is Rajasic karma? You perform the karma that involves too much of strain and is performed by the one who seeks enjoyment or by an egoistic desire. That is Rajasic karma. Rajasic karma. So check your life. If you are over busy, over exertion, over fatigue, you are doing a Rajasic karma. It will not bring the result. It will not make you happy. Third, if I do with too much of strain, then you could check my face, look at the face. I would be very strained. How should I convince you? Why should I convince you? Let me present the principle as it is. With a smile. Let me work out of the joy. Sattvic karma. Rajasic karma, the moment you experience you are doing work with too much of strain, you are over busy, you are workaholic, that is not karma yoga. One who seeks enjoyments and egoistic. And what is tamasic? Tamasic is the lowest one. You perform the karma just out of ignorance, without regard to consequences or loss to oneself, injury to others, and to one's own resources, is declared as a tamasic karma. Some people do it, even in the professional life. This is the 12th principle. Every karma has its origin in the thought. Thought contains the desire. Desire can lead you to the 6 enemies, or the same desire you can turn inward. Let me work for the sake of work. I am capable of doing this activity. Let me do it. What about the fruits? Whatever the fruits come, let me accept as a gift of existence. See how the mind will work. Are you getting it, Lara? That is the secret of karma yoga. So in all these 40 steps, every step, all the path of the karma is given. The last one, it's a very long topic. I have briefed it. So you see that what we do early in the morning, there are a couple of verses. We bring our both the hands in front, and we say Karagre Basate Lakshmi. So the tips of the fingers represents the goddess of wealth, Karamadhe Saraswati. The middle of the palm represents the wisdom, Karamule tu Govinda. The base, this represents Govinda, a will to perform an action for the sake of action. Prabhate Kardarshanam. So what we say? That we should all be early in the morning, should remind ourselves. The goddess of the wealth comes pointing, symbolically expressed at the tip of the fingers. Karmadhe Saraswati, goddess wisdom, and performing action for the sake of an action at the Karmule tu Govinda Prabhate Kardarshanam. So, literal meaning is that I should see my palms daily, the tips of the finger, the middle, and at the rest. Why? To keep my mind in order, not to get this mind carried away by the tamasic guna, by the rajasic guna. And that mind remains totally free, even if it has lot of challenges in the life. This is the brief about 12th principle. We'll take the 13th next week. So let us start our journey. of practice of meditation. Eyes are closed. What is right and good for me? Should I be workaholic? Is it right and good for me? No. How simple it is to understand, but we don't want to understand. We don't want to calm down. We don't want to perform our actions in calmness and peace behind. See that? You have to think over it. Eyes are closed. In the stage 1, we look inside the head or the heart. Body is steady. So let me invoke the principle of Patanjali. Why I always talk about these principles? Because your mind recalls these principles and changes the entire state of the mind. A journey to the self-discovery. So Patanjali says body needs to be steady, you need to be cheerful, you are looking inside and you experience even 1% of calmness. Did you do anything to experience that calmness? No. It has come from within. Can I continue that state of the calmness throughout that meditation? You will always succeed. This will be the last session. Awakening will take place. In that respect, it is so easy. Being comfortable is the second step. Looking at the neck joint, feeling the sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. Moving the mind on the shoulder joints, feeling the sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. Moving the mind on the entire body, slowly. I believe you have understood the sattvic karma. We are performing an action. This is also an action. So, experiencing comfortable sensation and steadiness. Second step in the stage 1. Third step, being carefree. I'll explain you carefree in hundreds of different ways, aligning it with different principles.
Here's what I found online. Please look at the screen.
Thoughts are coming and going. Let the thought come and go. I have explained you. The birds in the sky are the thoughts in your mind, in the mental sky, in the mental space. The space is not affected. The sky is not at all affected. Even if you have millions of birds flying, millions of thoughts flying, the deeper layer of the mind, not at all affected. What should I do? Just be aware. And being carefree. After being carefree, the fourth step is being casual, natural. That space is natural. You build a skyscraper and you demolish it. You buy one house, space is the same. You sell that house. Look at it. The space inside the restroom and the kitchen and the bedroom are the same. Means that being casual, the mind is looking at that existence. That being over easy, workaholic, all those ideas will drop in your mind as if you are settled now. And we will continue with our second stage, purification of the mind. Eyes are closed. Looking inside the belly button. One side of the mind is cheerful and start breathing quick, short, gentle breath from both the nostrils into the belly. Continue. Continue, quick, short breath, gentle breath. I mean to say you are playing with the breath. If you are playing with the breath, it is the sattvic activity. If the breath is playing over you, it is rajasic activity. See that you are performing a rajasic karma even during the practice of meditation, then will you succeed? Ask yourself. These are simple, subtle principles that guides the journey to the self-discovery. Continue, quick, short, gentle breath. On the other side of the mind, you are cheerful. Quick, short, gentle breath. Continue. And stop it. In the stage 2, the step 2 is the humming. But remember, do the sattvic karma. Deep, silent, slow breathing. First into the belly, then into the rib cage. And while breathing out, make the humming sound louder, deeper, and longer. The next inhalation is deeper than the previous one. The next humming is louder, longer, deeper than the previous one. And we understand that this humming should affect my forehead. It should have vibes there. Sometimes we strain our throat. No. So you have to align the humming sound should feel the vibrations deep inside the forehead. That is a tweak. can stop this humming sound. We have added one more step in the stage 2 to remove projection of what is desire for fruits of an action? Projection. It is in the future. So continue with the deep, silent, slow breathing, moving the mind in the spine from the crown of the head to the tailbone, and from the tailbone to the crown of the head. 2 things are done. Now we have to do something deeper inside. Every time you inhale, the mind is moving in the spine. You drop Om Shanti 5 times. 5 times during inhalation, 5 times during exhalation. And if you find some conflict, recognize it is a projection. Continue to do it with that deep, silent, and slow breath. Om Shanti. Om Shanti means existence and peace. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. 5 times and 5 times during exhalation. That is the stage 2. Possibly by this step, we remove the projection. That idea of a pride of doing any activity also drops. What happens? The mind is left completely empty. Even in the second stage. I appreciate you all are doing good. I like it. Now leave the Om Shanti, but continue deep, silent, slow breathing, and that we moved in the stage 3. As you inhale, move the mind inside the right arm. Find out the inner space or emptiness from the shoulder to the fingertips or fingertips to the shoulder. And when you exhale, the mind moves inside the right arm, in the space. How do we understand? The space is the highway. Mind is the driver. Breath is your car. Breath is your car. Understand. Continue. Continue. Now deep inside the left arm. You are aware of the space inside the left arm, helped by the breath, which is a car, and the mind is moving inside. Why we are doing it? We are dropping the identification with the body. Understand, without leaving anything, we don't gain. So mind is moving with the deep silent slow breath inside the left arm. And now move it inside the right leg. The breath is deep, silent and slow. The mind is moving inside. Mind and the breath is moving inside the right leg in the space. So here we are deepening. We're asking the mind to drop the identification with the body. We drop the identification from the body during deep sleep, but we are not aware. Here we are aware. And now moving the mind inside the left leg. And now inside the spine, from the top of the head to the tailbone. The breath is deep, silent, and slow. The mind moves with the breath in the space, in that state of emptiness. And when you exhale, the mind moves from the tailbone to the top of the head. Now leave this practice. We move into the stage for looking inside the forehead in the space. Just drop Om Shanti. Means here it is a superimposition. Any thought, idea, feeling comes. Om Shanti. I believe you know this step very well. I have explained it many a times. I come to your house and you ask me,
supported
who
function.
are you?
I'll keep learning to give you a better experience.
Who are you? And I say Om Shanti. Which God you own, Om Shanti. For every thought, feeling, sensation, images, including even if you feel any discomfort, crazy thoughts, Om Shanti. You are empowering the mind, moving deeper. I now leave this step also. Let us move into the stage 5, where we drop Om deep inside the crown of the head with a natural movement. It's not almost, it is an activity effortless. Then you move the mind casually inside the forehead. You see the space deeper within and drop Om. It gives us mind recognition of the higher consciousness. Then inside the heart, Om. Then inside the belly button. Again from the belly button, Om. Heart, Om. Inside the forehead, Om. The crown of the head, Om. Continue. As if you're doing something and still you're not doing anything. That is the key. And now leave this step, the stage 6 is all about looking at the breath going in and out. First point of awareness, feeling the sensation of the breath and no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. As if you are in a state of doing nothing. You're looking at the breath, that is not doing anything. You are aware of it. Being aware, you're already in a state of doing nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, and stay there for a while. With eyes open, you see the darkness and ask yourself, what is your experience? So we share our experiences, followed by question and answer. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very peaceful, and in the beginning little bit problem with my internet, but it was very peaceful. I was deep into it.
Deep into
All the last 20-25 minutes I was deep into it.
Very
Totally absorbed.
good. Very good. Continue the journey. How are you, Lara?
I'm good.
Here.
Thank you.
How are you, Sergey?
I felt completely like stillness in the body. Like, second part, like, of the meditation, I was completely here, but my body was like completely still, kind of like, and I was not, it was not something pushing me to move or something. It was just comfortable and still.
Wonderful. I believe you are progressing. And how are you, Terry? Yes, Terry.
Oh, I feel very calm and even, and I went through all the different stages of it pretty smoothly, but I felt a pulling like when I was trying to keep my attention up here, and whatever was going on would keep pulling it back to my hand or to here, or went with the breathing or something physical, pull it back down.
That
but,
is
I think it was a little better than
the last. Oh yeah. It's okay. Continue the journey. The greater, the deeper the identification with the body, greater the challenges comes. So, and why we have greater identification if body has problems? Identification is obvious. So, it is distraction. Yes. So, gradually what is going to happen, even if the problem is there, you drop that identification and go deeper. How are you, David and Jerry?
Good, doing well. It was a really nice focused meditation for me, and I appreciate the message and that action should pretty much culminate in wisdom and no attachment to the outcome of our action.
Yeah. Wonderful. You raised a question before the beginning. How to deal. Do the work. Don't think about the fruits of an action. Why I get upset? Because there is some ego element, subtle ego element, that wants to frame a good picture. That wants to create a good picture. We are right, Lara, we are in a profession, we say this much of money, this is for the price of the workshop. We should decide everything. But now, at the time of performing an action, the mind is totally focused on the action. So what happens? Honey, I love you, but mind is somewhere. And that will create a problem. Are you understanding? Are you getting it? I love you. I love you means, I also expect love from you. Problem begins. Do you see the subtle point there? It takes time to reach to that state. It is not a one-day job. And once you are there, you are flying in the sky all the time. That is what the karma yoga is. How are you, David?
It was actually a very deep calming meditation in spite of losing our internet connection.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but didn't phase, just came right back in and was really able to get into a deep space, and it was just a wonderful experience. So I feel very calm in spite of the frustration. I wasn't frustrated.
That is the right attitude of being a seeker. The seeker is never frustrated, never hesitated, enjoys. Wonderful. How are you, Daniel? Daniel and Stephen left. Yeah, Daniel.
I'm fine. I'm still thinking about what you said about karma yoga. And I have a question. I have many questions, but I will ask only one.
Yeah.
So I want to transfer desire to action, and I'm thinking and then accept all fruits which will come. Just accept. So I'm thinking, wouldn't it be easier for myself if I change my desire at the beginning, or completely remove the desire? I'm sorry for this naive question.
Very good, Daniel. Remove all the desires from today in your life and see how you live. You are going to the restroom, that is also a desire. You are dining, that is also a desire. You are working for someone, that is also a desire. Life is a series of desires. As long as we live, we have desires. Can you really get off the desire? The answer is no. By default, this mind is living with the desire with a very deep intent of seeking fruits of an action. For example, I am teaching you now, but the mind is obsessed. How much money you are going to pay? Then what will happen to my teaching? So, first part, that I should drop that desire for the fruits of action at the time of doing an action. Done? That will not build ego, because more and more fruits of an action builds a pride. And that ego and seeking fruits of an action is not in the mind. But should I not get the reward of my action? I will get the reward. I am doing an action. I am performing an action. I will definitely get the reward. But what should I do to replace that fruits of an action? Even you think, okay, let this action, I will perform my action in the best possible way and let the fruit go to the existence. In that way, I am not helping myself to work selflessly, but I am also working selflessly for others. Are you getting it? But try. For first 3 hours today after the session, don't have any desire. You cannot act. You cannot move. You cannot even go to the restroom. So that is the message the Master gives. Transform the desire-ridden action into a self-evolving actions in life. It's a very big topic, but I just made it simple. Someday we will find the time, we'll go deeply, very deep, step by step. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. My morning didn't start in a desirable manner, so my energy level was where, as you teach, I shouldn't be. So prior to the start, I needed to get myself ready to let it all go. And I think that my awareness through this meditation was clearly distinct levels of meditation.
Beautiful.
To where it's almost like something was just lifted off my shoulder, and I kept dropping deeper and deeper. And again, to the end, to where when you said to attention on the right hand, my first thought that came to my mind, which was the first thought that came to my mind, was, no, I'm not done yet. I don't want to come back.
Oh.
So it finished. It started off rough, finished great. So
finished great. Such a beautiful. That is an attitude of a seeker. I have to become eligible, qualified seeker to treat the path. Daniel, you are qualified to work. You are eligible. That's why you are working in that. We never think, are we qualified to meditate? No, who cares? Close your eyes. Focus on the breath. That will happen meditation. Huh? So it means, Lara, it is something like that. Oh, break the atom into molecule, no, into electron, proton, and neutron, and I have an atom bomb. How it is possible? How it is possible? We have to follow the path. The moment you follow the path, there have to be certain principles. Are you guys getting? And it's a good, the group is becoming better and better. Do you have any question? Unmute first, Lara, and then ask me.
I do. I have a question. So I know that I'm totally Rajasic.
Totally?
And that's where I live. The Rajasic karma. That's workaholic, all of that stuff. But as an entrepreneur and owning your own business, it's hard to say no. Because when you do say no, then you might not have any work.
Did I say no?
So what do you? No, but the only way to be over busy and overdoing is to say no and not do, right?
Now understand very important point. Workaholic has a seed of seeking fruits of an action, while planning stays project the figure. So how long it takes you to plan? Maximum an hour. Now you are putting that agenda into action. At the time of an action, is the mind still have an attitude of anxiety, workaholic? Then it will destroy the entire life. Second part, being an entrepreneur does not mean that I should be crazy, I should be in anxiety because I'm an entrepreneur, I should be stressed. Does that mean? If it means, then we should contemplate and reflect. We should contemplate and reflect and ask the mind, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be successful. Can I be successful being stressed, anxious, and overbusy? Ask yourself. You will get the right answer. If my mind is calm, and I give you one example. One IT guy is doing regular. He is doing 3 days from LA. That's how I'm able to maintain my livelihood. During the last 3 months, he said, coronavirus, I'm an IT professional. Daniel and Sergey will know. He has done Azure certification, 98%. AWS certification, 99%. He wants to be a big guy. But he is doing 3 days meditation with me. Next 4 days he is doing by himself. And now, yesterday he was saying that I completed my Azure certification. You know about Sergey. And he got 99%. He showed me the certificate. That is the principle. If you apply the principle, you become a great entrepreneur. Ask yourself, what makes your mind workaholic? So then you don't have a time for contemplation and reflection. You don't have a time to live into that state of calmness and peace. Are you getting some sense of it? Gita says sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Rajasic means always running, running and running. For what? For success. Success means what? For me. Success means money at the cost of anxiety and fatigue, or money at the cost of calmness and peace? Ask yourself. We should ask these questions, isn't it? They are really good questions. They are good questions to ask to live my life. Live my life. I have $1 million in the account and today gone. $1 million is also gone. I am living in calmness and now, here and now. On that basis, I build a foundation. Whether I am a teacher, entrepreneur, whatever work I am doing. It will not affect my personal life. It will not affect my professional life. It will not affect my social life. Are you getting a sense of it? I am very busy. Don't ask me. If I say I have a... Now see, there was another interview last point, and then if you have any question. I used to go to, Paradise Valley. There was another great guy who was a great entrepreneur. See, he picked up one principle. And after I went to him for 2 years. Now I'm not going. I used to reach 10 minutes before or 15 minutes before the stipulated time. After 3 months, he asked me, "What is this?" I said, "I want to remain relaxed. I am not in a hurry. I will not leave you after even an hour. I will be able to spend even 10 minutes more of a session." He had to make a presentation for his business, almost 3 presentations every day. What happened to him that he started following the same? After 3 months, he said that I'm totally relaxed. I was always anxious to make a presentation. I used to reach not in time, maybe 5 minutes late, maybe 5 minutes early. I used to be in anxiety. Now I reach 10 minutes before the meeting. My mind is very clear. And what happened after 3 months? He got a lot of revelations through his mind. Oh, I made this presentation. Let me add this point also. And now I am getting more money. I told him, if you're getting more money, then share with me. I just have to joke. So he said, yes. Simple step. And applying the same 2 principles. What is that principle? My focus is on making the presentation better and better. I'm working. Reward will come. Reward has to come. But let me accept that reward as a gift from the existence. So what happens? I get rid of the ego. Ego is blocking me. Understand, pride is blocking me. That is one of the 6 enemies. Last week, did we understand? More greed, fulfilled, pride. Not fulfilled, jealousy, anxiety, frustration. Don't you see that in your life? Don't you see that? So journey of meditation is awakening, realization and transformation. Okay, don't believe, Lara, but follow these principles even for a week. Don't believe.
Well, just to be, I'm not early for this event, but I'm usually 15 minutes early for everything that I do. So I do follow that piece. And that's something that's very important to me because I find it it's rude. Now I'm like, oh, I'm really rude, but I have a lot of tasks that I do in the morning before I have to get here to do this. And so it makes it really challenging for me to get out of that house and to get away to get here and get my computer set up. So I did wake up earlier this morning, but it didn't happen. I did more. I had to do laundry and other things. And so, but usually I'm 15 minutes early for everything I do. And I think
last point, I could not get up early in the morning. What is the cause? The cause is my sleep pattern. At what time I went to sleep? What is the quality of the mind at the time of going to the sleep? You see that? Now, if that is set into order, it takes me 5 minutes. I go lie down and I see that let me relax my body completely, drop the identification with the body. I feel tremendous tingling sensation, body freezes down. Until that point I am aware, and after that, gone. What happens? I need only 4 to 5 hours of sleep. I have no complaint getting up late. You see, the entire cycle of life has to be guided by these simple principles. So today also almost 2.5 hours at 4, from 4 to 6:30. I was the richest guy in the world. Totally absorbed. Body was totally full of energy. Then I wrote for an hour and then I attended your session. It is challenging in the beginning. I tell you, because we are habituated, we have a mechanical routine. The mind is scared that if I am not over busy, I will not get success. Are all over busy people succeeds? Are all entrepreneurs are over busy? Ask yourself. I have to break that pattern. Once you break that pattern, there was a good serial, Indian serial coming yesterday night. So I normally go to sleep at 11:30. Serial was continuing. I said, break it. Why to break it? Am I getting a pleasure from outside? Is happiness inside me or outside? I got that click. I closed the TV. I came here. You know, it will happen naturally to your life, provided we follow the principles. I follow the principles, then only I can make an atom bomb. Are you clear about it? Fission and fusion. So simple. So simple. So it means I should follow the principles. Now see that. You don't follow the principles. Take an example. And you want to make an atom bomb. And while making it, you make a slight mistake. Your whole house, along with everyone, blast. That is what happens in meditation. That is what happens in meditation. If we don't follow those principles, the mind always complains, reacts, hesitates. Are you getting it? Are we greater than the Buddha? Buddha was also a meditation teacher, if you say it. he built only 300 monasteries in India. Ask him, were you over busy? Were you workaholic? Ask. I realized that when my master told me, he said, no, yes, you are right. You are right. You are right. Ask Shankaracharya, great masters. But Buddha is very famous. Buddha taught for 45 years. He has 300 monasteries, built 300 monasteries in India. He taught millions of people. It was not a magic, the money came from nowhere by building the monastery. I'm opening up your mind, Lara. I'm challenging your habitual mind. I'm entering into that mind which is most beautiful, which is very...
So I've been running, just so you know, I'm running experiments for myself right now. So I stopped completely reading the news because I had not done it for a long time, and then I got addicted when this whole coronavirus came back up. So I've stopped reading the news first thing